This video is a film study to focus on the contributions of rookie wide receivers Isaac Teslaa and Jackson Meeks. Additional to that, Dominic Lovett had a really clutch catch mid to late second quarter, but we're going to generally focus on Teslaa and Meeks. 11 catches on 13 targets, 134 yards overall, and the 2 touchdowns in that second quarter explosion. They were really in tune with Kyle Allen. Those guys were reading the defense in a spectacular fashion. In fact, I think the pass game was really sharp overall. There's some reads in this video that I want to show you. I think I've got 9 plays queued up, generally from the second quarter. I'll have more to put out on this game. Been traveling pretty much Saturday evening and Sunday morning, so difficult to get things done. But in terms of Kyle Allen, talked about it in a reaction video last night. 21 of 25 passing the last 2 weeks. Very astute observations of the defense pre and post snap. I got a couple of little intricacies that I think I understand that I'll try to point out to you in this video. Credit has to be due to the offensive line for picking up at least 1, if not 2, unusual stunts that the Dolphins ran in this game. These 2 wide receivers, these 2 rookie wide receivers, and Dominic Lovett, like I said, they really put on a show yesterday. So initially, what I want to just make sure I focus on is the field and boundary for pretty much every play I show this year. I want to try to create a blue line where the field and boundary is. The top side is the boundary, the short side of the field, the bottom side is the field, the wide side. Generally, tight end is going to be located into the boundary, and that's where I talked about in the reaction video last night that Jackson Meeks was located quite often. In this instance, he is not. Isaac Teslaa will normally be spot shadowed in yellow, and then Meeks in orange. In this case, it's a second possession, 2nd and 10. They're on the same side to the field. There's the route delineation you're going to get. This is one of the 2 overthrows that Kyle Allen had early on. You can see the defensive back falls down, who's dealing with Teslaa. I think they kind of get their feet wrapped up or knocked into each other. So this is the inside linebacker here in purple that Allen is trying to deliver the ball over the top of, number 1. This is man free. So you've got man down here, and all of these yellow lines or all of these yellow markers. You got man, and then the free safety in the middle of the field to help out with anything that's an in cut deep or late. Allen's trying to layer the throw over the top of that inside linebacker. It's a little too high, but I do like how early he's throwing the football quite often. We're probably not going to see him in the regular season, but he seems to have developed to me. I was quite impressed with him last week against the Falcons, and then yesterday against the Dolphins as well, even though they ended up losing the game 24-17. Quick identification for Allen. And people sometimes say, well, you stare down where you're throwing the football. He looks, gets his read, and then moves on. In this case, he looked to that side of the field to confirm something, our left-hand side of the screen, but the right-hand side for Allen and the Lions offense. And then there's the inside linebacker, and Teslaa has, finished off this defensive back. There was some contact, some hand fighting. It looked like maybe their feet got tangled up. You can see the throw is just a little bit too late. I think that inside linebacker's depth, that's why you talk to inside linebackers about getting good depth and not just kind of sitting at the depth of your alignment. You can see his toes are right on the line, and then he at least gets about 2 yards depth such that Allen has to kind of layer or loft that throw over the top. I still think he could have probably put slightly more pace on that one. It's a missed opportunity, clearly, for Teslaa. That would have been a huge gain on the second possession. This is the 3rd and 18, the catch to Teslaa at the top of the field that doesn't count. I think there's an offensive holding here. Lovett is on. Meeks is actually off. There was a penalty that pushed them back into a 1st and 20. In fact, it's a 2-man. So you've got man-to-man down here, man. All of these yellow lines are indicating man. And then 2 deep safeties here and here. That's why it's called 2-man. It's a great coverage to play on 3rd and long, particularly if you have a quarterback that's not really a threat to get out of the pocket and escape in a manner that he could possibly gain the first down. You don't see too much 2-man against guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, because they'll really kill you with that. Allen, in this case, does escape, but he's not going to be able to get down the field and really threaten. There's Teslaa. It's a perfect adjustment to seeing this safety moved over or hedged over to his side. So Teslaa brings the corner back to the middle and then veers back to the sideline because he has no option to bring it further and pretty much knows where he's going to go with the football. Once this inside linebacker moves to the defensive back, give Teslaa a chance to catch it, 40 to 60% chance. In this case, the dude's like 80%. I know that catches to targets isn't always a great illustration, but catches to targets been extremely efficient so far You kind of wish selfishly that you could see him play a little bit more, but I think they're going to sit him down for the third game. Really, no more else to see if you ask me. Fourth possession, of course, this is the first touchdown for Detroit. And on here, on Allen, as he pump fakes, and I run this 3 or 4 times so you can see it. Watch what it does to this inside linebacker. He breaks down with that little stop route by the tight end, and that gives enough of an opening for Allen to squeeze that throw in the middle of the field. Let me diagram quarter, half for you guys here. So quarter, halves, some people call it cover 6. 1/4 of the field, 1/4 of the field. Down here, this safety, 1/2 of the field. Quarter call cloud cover 3, which has been around forever. This inside linebacker we're talking about right here. The motion by Zylstra created a 2-by-2 set. So over to the boundary is the focus for Allen. It's where he looks initially. This is just the type of slick behavior or recognition and awareness that you get from a backup quarterback, and you feel like you're in a pretty good place. He's getting that inside linebacker to break, talking about here on Zylstra, and then open up the space, for Tesla's route to stick onto between these 2 inside linebackers here. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. Quick recognition, if you ask me, by Kyle Allen. Nice location on the throw. Just playing extremely good football right now, and they didn't get a touchdown until their 5th possession. It's going to come on this 4th and 7 throw. Really kind of cheating the system, if you will, out of 11 personnel. So the Dolphins run the glitch blitz, which is something that the Ravens and Mike McDonald now with the Seahawks run. A lot of teams do it now. It really takes advantage of offensive line rules and how you pass pro. But let's check out the throw first from the all-22 angle. Meeks up top and spot shadowed in orange. Hopefully I've done that in orange for him every single play. Teslaa down at the bottom, teamed up or tagged up with Kennedy. Not really consequential on this play. There's the 2 routes, and it just gives trouble for whatever reason to this corner and this safety. I think the safety is supposed to take Meeks, but it's a stacked delineation. It's a stacked alignment by those guys. So who's 1 and who's 2, right? Because they're both right on top of each other. You normally start with the outside receiver. In this case, Kennedy would be 1, and then the next receiver in would be 2. If there was a tight end here, he would be 3. But down to this side of the field, you don't have a tight end, so 3 would be the running back. Who is 1 and who is 2 up to the top side with me to run, to try to confuse quarterbacks and not allow them to throw anything over the middle? Well, the offensive line does a great job of picking this up. The guard and tackle move out to this nickel defender late, taking advantage of pass pro in a numbers game. It's a predetermined dropout by this defensive tackle and this defensive tackle. It's always those 2 guys. I call it the glitch blitz. I'm sure people smarter than me have a better name for it. There's essentially or roughly what you're getting. This defensive tackle stepping to the guard for a moment and then dropping out. We're at the end zone angle, so the depth of their drop isn't great. I really need to kind of like flatten it there. But this defensive tackle also dropping out, and then occupy the left tackle, occupy the right tackle, such that the edge blitzer here, and then there's a nickel DB off screen is blitzing. 1 or both of them can come free. Mike McDonald, in my opinion, really patented it. I'm not saying that other people haven't used it. He probably got it from someone older than him. The Lions picked it up well. This is about as good a job, if you ask me, of picking up the glitch. 74 and 52. When they recognize these guys dropping out of here, they fold out and look for work, and basically Skipper and 74 end up handing this off to each other. Reynolds takes the other edge defender away from what looked like the overload pre-snap. Nice little pocket for Allen to throw from on a 4th and that amount of time and that amount of space. This is the time period when Allen is 9 of 9 passing on the 4th and 5th possession, and really just flipped the script completely in terms of the dynamic between Detroit's offense and Miami's defense. I know that starters weren't out there for either team, but I thought it was a great moment to see them generate some offense and really get back in the game. Miami hadn't really done much on offense either. Detroit's defense under Kelvin Shepard shutting down the run game early, especially in the first half. Let's get back to some of the film. This will be 5th possession. This will culminate clearly with Tesla's touchdown on the little stutter fade. Love it on the field in purple, Teslaa here. And the route combination, I think, is all designed to go to Love It with a possible later. clear out down here by Kennedy to pull this corner out of the field of view, and you can see how quickly how quickly Allen is identifying that the clear out is successful, meaning it's holding this corner and opening up all this space for Allen to throw to Lovett on top of. I know there's a lot of colors going on the screen. If it's too much, feel free to let me know. I wonder if some of the annotation isn't helping for some of the YouTube content ID structure, but I could be wrong and find out as early as Monday or Tuesday that I am. For this being a 3rd and 12 and a 9-yard gain, this is a win for the Detroit Lions in the regular season as well, not just the preseason. Same play from the end zone angle. I think just another example of quick identification. Allen, very smooth in his delivery and operation in the pocket. Once again, you've got a nice little pocket for him to throw from, especially where he's looking. That seemed to really be lined up or fit for the Detroit Lions offensive line and Allen when he was on the field in the first half, meaning wherever he was looking, he had clear lanes to throw. Sometimes that can be a little bit random, but this is a great throw. We got to give him credit for this, throwing this thing from the all-22 angle. So Lovett is just making his cut, and Allen is already starting to throw a critical 4th and 3. This gives you an idea of how well Teslaa is reading things. This is mesh versus zone. Mesh should normally be a drag all the way across the field, another drag all the way. And once those double drags sift the defense out, basically pull an inside linebacker with them. So there's a lot going on. My apologies, I didn't know that I had it diagrammed there. And then late, you got Meeks as a deeper in cut over the top of all that. So it's slightly different because you're getting a clear out route here such that it allows Meeks to possibly fit into that open space a little bit later. So conceptually the same exact thing as what I diagrammed initially. Really quick loss by the left tackle in pass pro. And Allen is forced to, get rid of it with, a little bit of trepidation here as a fan watching it. Because like I said, it's a 4th and 3. In this case, a read by Teslaa and 40, I think, is that Horton? I might be wrong there with the name. Because they identify of the screen. We're talking about what occurs between these two players here. They're really stacked on top of each other. It doesn't necessarily matter because Allen doesn't target the tight end / H-back. He really could have. Teslaa sits down, visual stats, as well as Meeks because he gets a big reception on the very next play. Same play, end zone angle. The left tackle's loss, super quick. Teslaa's route is kind of drawn up by that yellow line, and Kennedy with the clear out to create the space for Meeks to possibly fit on top of later in the progression. And so normally you would run all the way through here. In this case, he kind of sits down short of the hash. Additional to that, 40 does the same thing, sits down because they don't want to run into zone defenders. They don't want to force Allen to throw the ball into a zone defender who's kind of sitting there waiting. So another illustration, another example, of Teslaa being advanced, recognizing things. Guys can do it in a practice situation. This is live processing on the fly with Teslaa and Allen. A lot of times people say, oh, they're on the same page. And yes, that does apply. But this is a read and a reaction. Anytime you get a rookie, who can read it in time with your quarterback, you're in a great situation, especially because you're talking about 4th or 5th wide receiver at this point, but like a fire zone. So fire zone means 5-man blitz and 6 in coverage. Usually it's 3 deep, 3 under. This is Meeks running up the seam. And really, Allen takes advantage of the dropping out of this inside linebacker, that outside linebacker, and then this inside linebacker basically doing a switch drop. So he's lined up on the right for the defense, the top side of our screen, and then he pushes over here, and then this OLB drops out. That allows Meeks to fit into that seam. Allen, quick recognition again, gets to his back step. I called it a 2 deep, 4 under. That may not be the best name for it, to be honest with you. What I was perceiving earlier was that the 2 deep, the 2 safeties that I just drew the horizontal arrows, and then this being your 4 under guys here. I know they're not all at the same. Skipper takes the nickel. Vaki peels back for the inside linebacker. Again, a really nice job by the Lions offensive line of picking up a somewhat intricate blitz, or that was disguised well. I wouldn't call this an anticipation throw. This is just reading the defense and recognizing the coverages that you see. Staff, offensive coordinator, clearly were looking at things, looking at film thereafter in preparation for the scrimmage or for the preseason game, the third one for the Lions. All right, so the touchdown pass to Teslaa here, and then Kennedy is the third man, the point man in the bunch, if you will, who's essentially running an occupy route to hold this safety and allow Teslaa to get isolated on the corner. Additional to that, you can see that there's a pump by, oops, my apologies. There's a pump fake here by Allen. Trying to get the right color and the right graphic. The pump fake here by Allen that times up with this little stutter by Teslaa. They're trying to catch the corner looking back in the backfield. I don't know that it really does a whole lot to the corner. He's definitely putting his foot in the ground to break on something, whether it's an out-breaking route, in-breaking route. Certainly from this angle and the leverage, it looks like Teslaa would be breaking towards the sideline. But that pump fake is timed up perfectly with Teslaa's little basic four-man rush, and they take advantage of it. They're all celebrating for each other. You can see how excited Meeks is for Teslaa to have got another touchdown, put them up 14-7. Things weren't as interesting in the second half. You just didn't get as sharpness or as consistency from the offense, I should say, when Hendon Hooker was under center in the shotgun. Kyle Allen's outplayed him. It's not a shot at Hendon Hooker. It's just reality. These two wide receivers and Dominic Lovett were a big part of it. I think that Teslaa is probably not going to play in the fourth preseason game. There's no reason to. I don't need to see him. You know that he can play. He can contribute. He can make reads, whether it's man or zone. He can win in the red zone on jump ball situations or elevated throws. Allen made a nice throw there. Two perhaps misses on the night. 14 of 17 overall. Brilliant performance. I don't think we'll see that. I broke down some of my thoughts about these two rookie wide receivers. Really three guys that have come into Detroit and competed with each other, but also done a great job competing against defenses for the other team. And in this case, really scalded Miami's defense in the second quarter. I know Meeks had some big catches late fourth quarter as well when Hooker was in the game, but those guys were really impressive on those two touchdown drives on the fourth and fifth possession. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section. Number one, I think other Lions fans would enjoy checking out my video here and some of the ways that I tried to analyze the game. Please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.